Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Fifer. Served up by Wendy's on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan. Download the Wendy's app today.
It is time again as we broadcast live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook here at the Wisconsin State Fair. Steve Sparky Fifer with you right here by the Expo building, looking at the Milk House right across the way from us. As Thunder was saying before me, if you have kids or whatever the case may be, and those kids, like root beer and so forth, but you're like, I want my kids drinking a lot of soda. But, hey, man, that root beer milk at the Milk House, it's money. It is money. Go check that out. Coming up on today's show, speaking of money, Tim Dillard, or as it says on my rundown, Dillard, will join us coming up today at 3:20 here at the Wisconsin State Fair right by the Expo building. So up close, in personal, side by side, first time ever we've been able to pull this off. By the time we get done, he may never come back on again, or I'll get punched. Anything is possible at this point there, Charlie.
Probably, but I think it's going to be okay. I think you guys are going to become like best friends. This is going to be pretty cool.
Maybe. It could happen. It might be like, dude, you really stink, man. Like, go way off camera, because we're going to have to be sharing one camera here for YouTube. By the way, all you have to do is go on YouTube and search The Fan Milwaukee. All of our live shows streaming there like we are right now. Check out our videos. Check out our shorts. Again, The Fan Milwaukee on YouTube. You can stream all that. Stream the radio show as well on the Odyssey app. You can listen to all of our podcasts, iHeart app, Odyssey app, TuneIn, Spotify, wherever the case may be. So Tim Dillard will be here on set, as they would say, outside the Expo building, coming up at 3:20. FanDuel Sports Network Brewers analyst at 3:20. We'll hear from Matt LaFleur as well. We'll do that coming up at 3 o'clock. And as always, we start off the show the same way, right? We talk about the Brewers game from last night, 2:20. We get into talking about a training camp recap. If you are a wrestling fan, I ask you to hang out with us at 2:40 because I have something from one John Heyman from the WWE that I found entertaining enough to have a conversation on this show. It is concerning sports in general and whether or not that is actually a sport in which they do. And he makes an interesting point. So we'll get into that coming up at 2:40 as well. Green and Gold update at 4 o'clock. So stay tuned. Lots coming up here. Wisconsin Sports Daily served up by Wendy's. With me, Steve Sparky Fifer here on The Fan at Wisconsin State Fair. Brewers and Braves last night, Charlie. And our guy, Freddie Freeman, I'm sure you already have the highlight ready. Our guy, Freddie Freeman, once again doing damage against the Atlanta Braves.
Freddie Freeman.
Not Freddie Freeman. I'm an idiot.
You were throwing me off.
Andrew Vaughn. I'm so old. Andrew Vaughn. That's what I meant. Yeah, you know what I meant. Stop.
And it's driven into left center field. Back goes Harris. Still back, and it is gone. Andrew Vaughn strikes again. Hitting streak reaches a dozen, and the guys in that Brewers dugout just cannot believe the run that this kid is on.
Why not? Why can't you believe it? Why can't you buy in to Andrew Babe Ruth Vaughn the way he's been swinging the bat lately? Why not buy in to Andrew Vaughn being all of that and a bag of chips at this point? The Brewers are buying in to Andrew Vaughn, Charlie. I got an email earlier today, and I started laughing. The title of the email from the Brewers was, "Added to the lineup." The Brewers announced today that they will have an Andrew Vaughn T-shirt giveaway for the game coming up on Tuesday, August 26th. I will say it's the first 10,000 fans through. So if you want an Andrew Vaughn shirt, T-shirt coming up on Tuesday, August 26th, you will have to get there early. Make sure you're in line early to guarantee yourself an Andrew Vaughn T-shirt. The Brewers obviously going to take advantage of the hype train that has become Andrew Vaughn at this point, Charlie.
I mean, why not? He's been awesome. He's been better in 22 games than he was in the first half of the season with the Chicago White Sox, the entire first half of the season. this might be the best 22-game stretch he's ever had in his whole career. This is a lot of fun. This is exactly what we were looking for from a trade deadline piece. And I think at the trade deadline, we were still a little disappointed that they didn't go out and get another player like this, another player to have that kind of power surge. But now he keeps proving us wrong day in, day out. I'm becoming a huge Andrew Vaughn fan, and that T-shirt is a lot cooler than the Miz T-shirt that they released too.
Oh, so now we're going to be a fashion expert on this show. Charlie Houston, fashion expert. You like it better than the Miz? Why do you like it better than the Miz shirt?
I don't know. I think it's just more creative. I think like the design looks better. The Miz one is literally just him like standing there and it says the Miz on it.
Right.
This one has like a whole like design King Vaughn on it. It's cool. I like it.
I guarantee you next year that we will have a Mizorowski bobblehead next year for the Brewers, I would think. If Andrew Vaughn plays like this, he will have a bobblehead next year as well. It'll be fun to see what kind of cool things they come up with for Vaughn and Mizorowski for promotions next year, because obviously both should be on this roster.
I think for the Miz bobblehead, you need it to be like extra tall, right? Like it should be like an extra 3 inches taller than the normal one.
Yes.
And then the Andrew Vaughn, you bring back the old Prince Fielder one. If you're going to keep calling him King Vaughn, you bring back the old Prince Fielder one where they had the crown on Prince. Do that. Bring that back.
Who calls this man King Vaughn, man? Who is doing that?
The Brewers are now.
My kid brought that up like last week or 2 weeks ago. He's like, King Vaughn. I'm like, what? He's like, don't you know they call him King Vaughn? I'm like, I don't call him King Vaughn. I've never even heard it on my radio show. He's like, yeah, man, people call him King Vaughn. I was like, okay. Well, so where did that start from?
King Vaughn was a rapper from Chicago, and he was really popular for a while. He's passed away now, but this nickname has kind of got on to Andrew Vaughn.
Does he have music? That like
Andrew
it doesn't
Vaughn?
That we can actually play? No, man.
King Vaughn,
the rapper,
no, we cannot
whatever
play
he
King
said.
Vaughn's music. No.
No?
No, we cannot play King Vaughn's music.
None of it's arable?
No, none of it's arable, no.
Our guy over here, Van, is laughing and shaking his head. No, you can't play it. No. So it's that bad. Then why are we calling this dude? Man, I don't understand.
That's cool.
Prince is his name, right? So, I mean, that's why you called him Prince Fielder. It's not just a nickname. There's got to be something else we can do other than King Vaughn. I don't know. Like the Vaughn Valley thing, right? That's from Greg Vaughn. When Greg Vaughn was, playing at County Stadium back in the day, that would be a cool feature, right? Bring back Vaughn's Valley and have a bobblehead with Greg Vaughn on it and Andrew Vaughn standing next to each other on a bobblehead. That would be a slick-looking bobblehead.
Sparky, they missed out on Unvaunted.
Tommy Wirtz is here. What?
They missed out on Unvaunted.
Undaunted. You are a clever cat right there, boy. Yeah, this doesn't work out. Marketing with the Brewers is right there. Unvaunted is definitely one that would work as well. And who says they missed out? I mean, they can do whatever they want whenever they want to do it, right? Even if they're late to the party, they can still do it at some point. I give them credit, though, for coming up and creating things on the fly. That's not easy, right? Try to put something together last minute like this. I mean, this T-shirt giveaway's at the end of the month, and they got a sponsor for it, too. So from that perspective, I give the Brewers a lot of credit. Another guy that doesn't really have any type of promotion around him, but he might work himself into this because he almost hit a cycle last night. He was flexing his muscles, showing some power there in the fifth inning with Yelich on. Blake Perkins stepped to
Perkins, right field, hit well. It is gone for Blake Perkins. His third home run of the road trip, and the Brewers open it up against Strider and the Braves.
Blake Perkins doing his thing. Highlight courtesy of FanDuel Sports Network. Blake Perkins doing his thing again last night. 3 for 5, couple of runs, couple of RBIs. That home run, triple short of the cycle. People are getting excited last night on Twitter. And, of course, there always has to be a few that say, well, he got hot for like a month last year and then came back down to earth. Let's not get too excited about Blake Perkins yet. Okay, maybe that's true. But when you're putting together the run that the Brewers are putting together, when you're 6-0 on a road trip and you have a perfect road trip, it takes everybody to step up and have big games along the way. It's not just going to be a one-man show. Like basketball can be a one-man show, right? Where Giannis just gets super hot, drops like 40-point games, 3-4 games in a row, and you win 3-4 games in a row. In baseball, everybody's got to participate, and it could be 2 or 3 different guys every single night. The cool thing is with this Brewers offense is they've all been hitting the ball lately, Charlie, and that has been a huge benefactor. I mean, 14 more hits last night against the Braves.
Well, and Blake Perkins is just another example of this mentality that this Brewers team has. He's been great since he's come back from injury. I also feel like I was the only person talking about him when he was injured. Nobody was really expecting him to come back and do this. They had Isaac Collins. Isaac Collins has been phenomenal this season, way better than expected. So getting Blake Perkins back wasn't really the biggest deal for people. But this is why getting him back is so important, because you add that extra depth into the outfield, because now you have a guy that's feeling himself because the rest of the lineup is feeling themselves. I mean, all of this just energy is flowing through the lineup right now, and it's affecting everybody. And the more each of these guys gets a hit, the more the offense is going to keep going.
I'm gonna sidetrack our own show right now, if you don't mind. So we talked about our guy Andrew Vaughn a little bit earlier, right, to start the segment. I want to sidetrack it, and I want to talk a little bit about Andrew Vaughn's defense, because there's been a lot of conversation about what happens with Rhys Hoskins when he comes back and so forth. So I started going through Andrew Vaughn's minor league numbers and his major league numbers, Charlie Usen. Do you want to know what I found?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I found out that Andrew Vaughn, when with the Chicago White Sox at the major league level, played a couple games at third base. Yes, he did.
Mm-hmm.
Played a couple games at third base at Andrew Vaughn at that point. I texted it to Tommy, texted it to my buddy. They both kind of laughed at me and said, yeah, that's not happening. There's no way they're going to do that at this moment in time. But it's an interesting thing to consider, because if you missed this last night, Adam McKelvey posted in a Reddit bag, I guess that's what he called it, answering questions on Reddit. He said that Andrew Vaughn, because remember, if you go on Spot Trek and look at it, Andrew Vaughn has 1 year of control left for the Brewers, and then he becomes a free agent, right? Well, according to Adam McKelvey, they were notified by the Brewers, apparently. That's not right. He has 2 full years of control, Charlie Usen, after this year.
How do you not know that? Like, how is this not something that's, like, more well-known?
Spot Trek has it wrong. Everybody has it wrong. No, not one website I could find last night has it correct.
That's
so
what I'm
then
saying.
Immediately people are like, oh, that can't be right. Well, my God, come on, man. I mean, if they're telling the reporters that's the case, unless the Brewers don't know what his contract is, maybe somebody in the organization gave him bad information, but he printed it like fact and said, I'll continue to remind people, through the remainder of the season that, we were wrong, saying he only had 1 year of control left. Andrew Vaughn has 2 years of control left, according to Adam McKelvey of MLB and the Brewers. That is a huge, huge deal for the Milwaukee Brewers, and makes that deal for Aaron Savali look even better at this point.
It makes it look huge. I mean, this deal was already looking like a landslide victory for the Milwaukee Brewers at this point, over the Chicago White Sox. Aaron Savali doesn't really seem like he's doing anything worthwhile over there, even though they started out a little hot after the deadline. Doesn't matter at all. Andrew Vaughn is doing this for the Milwaukee Brewers. It's an immediate win. If he can go and play third base at some point, yeah, that'd be awesome. I know that when he did play third base, they didn't like it very much, and that's why he never really played there for an extended period of time. They were just kind of trying it out when Yohan Moncada was injured for that longer period of time. They were just trying different people at that position, and because they had other players like Jake Berger coming up through the system, other first basemen, Eloy Jimenez when he was healthy, they wanted to try other people out. I don't know if that's something that's a realistic opportunity for a guy like Andrew Vaughn moving forward, since he hasn't really done that at a consistent rate. Be worth a shot, but when you have so many other pieces in your minor league system right now that are going to be able to play third base younger in their career, I think that's more valuable.
I got a brilliant piece of marketing for the Milwaukee Brewers. If you all are listening over there, maybe get Rich Schlesinger, president of business operations, over to a radio or somebody over there stream it for him, because this is brilliant. I'm not taking credit for it. It's not my deal. But I'm telling you, I got a message from my buddy David, who lives out in L.A. And he said the perfect name for Vaughn hasn't been talked about yet. There must be a shirt that says, get up, get out of here, Vaughn, especially for the Euchre deal. What do you think of that?
All right, I like that one. That's fun.
Can I take it to another level, though, from what he said?
Let's hear it.
They should have shirts for every player that's a power threat on this team. It should be get up, get out of here, gone for Terang. Get up, get out of here, gone for whoever your favorite player is.
Why do you want shirts all of a sudden?
And have a series of these get up, get out of here, gone shirts, and treat it like you do bobbleheads, right? So every year maybe you release 2 of them for two different players. So maybe next year it's Churio and it's Yelich or something. And then the year after that it's two other players, and it's a series of shirts, and you try to collect, the series of shirts.
I've never seen somebody so against playoff T-shirts as much as you were against playoff T-shirts in the NBA and the NBA Finals and the NBA playoffs.
Well, yeah, because
but
you
now
go,
you want
you
a
go
whole
every
T-shirt
year.
series for this team?
Listen, you're misunderstanding what I'm saying here. My issue wasn't that they had T-shirts. My issue was they go every year. It diminishes the want or value of having another shirt like I had from the previous year. This get up, get out of here, gone series of T-shirt giveaways would be exclusive to only the Brewers, number one. And number two, you're tagging it to different players. And you could have like the player's jersey number, like make them like jersey shirts, but different on the front. I don't know, man. Just trying to explain it. Even if you don't do that, even if you just do David's idea, which is one shirt, get up, get out of here, Vaughn, that I think would also be sweet.
I think it would be pretty cool. I think just the one shirt would probably be what I'd prefer. I think that makes it a little bit more limited. I know you want to honor Euchre any way you can, but I think they've done a pretty good job this season of honoring Euchre. And I think the team, the way that they talk about the Euchre, the way that they say they play for Euchre, it is enough. I think adding more T-shirts and stuff, one should be enough for this guy that's just phenomenal.
I would have a Euchre promo every year. And I don't care what you do. Every year, there would be at least one Euchre promo. There's a million things that you can attach him to going forward.
I feel like they were doing that when he was alive still, too. Like, I feel like every year there was some kind of Euchre bobblehead or something going on, the Euchre Day, something like that going on when he was still with the team helping out in the booth.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we were going to go Packers training camp here coming up next. I changed my mind because we never got to the question I wanted to ask in this segment because we've been talking about the Brewers game, marketing ideas for Vaughn and all that other stuff. And that happens a lot in this show. We're here to help everybody, make money. We're just trying to make ourselves some as well in the meantime. Charlie, I want to talk about this coming up next. Do you think this year for the Brewers has actually been more impressive for Matt Arnold and Pat Murphy than last year was? Remember, last year, Executive of the Year, Manager of the Year. We talked about it a little bit the other day, talking about the idea of maybe Pat Murphy wins Manager of the Year back-to-back years at this point. So has this year been actually more impressive than what the Brewers did last year? And if so, in what way? Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. We'll also ask Tim Dillard, FanDuel Sports Network, Wisconsin Brewers analyst. He'll join us here at the Wisconsin State Fair live, sitting right next to me outside the Expo building. He'll be here with me coming up at 3:20. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM at 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Time now for your fan weather forecast. Air quality alert, still and yet again. It never goes away. It did yesterday for like an hour or two, I think it was. 88 degrees, mostly cloudy. Air quality alert until 11 o'clock tonight. They should have over-under bets at Potawatomi Sportsbook on when the actual air quality alert will actually go to. So when they post to 11, they should take bets now of will it get extended to Friday or will it actually be done going forward at 11 o'clock tonight. They could have made a lot of money for everybody thinking it was going to be done each day at this point, Charlie.
How many people do you think would put money on weather bets? Do you think that's something that, like, just overall they could make something off of?
5 days ago, I would have been betting that it just keeps getting extended every day, and I would have made a lot of money because I swear to God, it's never going away. So 88 degrees, mostly cloudy, real feel of 94. Tonight, a low of 71. Welcome in, Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Here on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan. Right here at the Wisconsin State Fair outside the Expo building, looking over at the Milk House. Come on out, say hi. If you can't make it out, you can always watch us on YouTube by subscribing, liking, sharing on YouTube. Search The Fan Milwaukee on YouTube. If you've not checked out the YouTube channel, I'm telling you, you're really going to like it. I mean, we got shorts up there, different interviews that we've done up there, all the live streaming of all the local shows as well. And I think in the future we'll add some original content outside of the different stuff that we do there too. So stay tuned, keep updated on that YouTube page. And like I said, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff that goes along with it. I got to tell you a quick story before we get back into Brewers baseball again, involving the Wisconsin State Fair. So this all revolves around a brief conversation yesterday that I had with Charlie Usen. And that was that my 18-year-old was coming out here to see that John Party guy, that country artist. Remember I told you he was coming out here for that?
I do remember that, yeah.
And I said, so he's coming out here, whatever else. And then Jack was over here next to me going, man, all these girls out here with cowboy boots on and everything else, man, I need to start listening to country music, right? So no big deal. So we get done. I get done with the leadoff show with Tommy last night at 6 o'clock. And husband and wife come up to me, and they're like, thank you so much, Sparky. And I was like, what'd I do? Man, we had tickets for the show tonight for John Party, but we thought the show was on Thursday, and the wife took a half a day for today and not yesterday. So he was like, as soon as I heard you, I was like, oh, no, is that right? So he went and Googled. He's like, oh, Sparky's right. Called his wife at work. She got in the car, left work, got him, came straight to Wisconsin Fair, and got here in time to see John Party last night. He's like, if you wouldn't have brought that up, we would have missed the concert we had tickets for.
There you go, Sparky. You're a hero.
Oh, wait, I'm not done.
Oh,
then there's a little bit more. Then I told you my kid came here last night to see this concert, right? Last night he gets home. I was sound asleep. So this morning I was talking to him. I go, so, how was it? How'd it go, man? He's like, oh, it's a good time. I said, yeah? He goes, I was telling him what Jack was saying, whatever else. He's like, yeah, I got some numbers. I was like, oh, you did, you? Is that so, really? And I was like, oh, you what this dude did? Now tell me, Charlie, I want to know. Tommy Wirtz, if he's I want to know for Tommy Wirtz, too. Tell me if you've ever done this. I have never done this in my life. Swear to God, Scout's honor, never done this. Have you ever lied about your age to get a date?
No, I have not done that. I don't think.
You've never done that?
I don't think so. No.
Has Tommy Wirtz ever lied about his age
to get a date? He's
So this is the deal. See, I told you he's 18, right? So he'll be 19 in February.
Okay.
So he asked this girl, I don't know how he asked her, but whatever. She's 22.
Okay.
22. She's like, how old are you? He's like, I'm 20. Got the number. I was like, get out of here, man. You got to be kidding me.
He's a smart man.
Whatever. Oh, wait. He's apparently in the stands, and this girl is dancing with him, and he turns to the mom. He's like, I don't want you to feel left out. You could dance with us, too. So now the mom and the daughter are both dancing with him and got that number, too. Get out of here,
That's
man.
That's insane.
That's crazy, right?
That is nuts. No, I have never done anything like that. I'm not as bold as that, I guess.
Oh, smooth. A smooth operator, this one is. Good luck to everybody involved with him in college. That is going to be something else. All right, I had to tell that story. It was just too funny. All right, let's talk about this Brewers baseball team. Look, they have the best record in baseball. First team to 70 wins at this point. They're off today, and then David Stearns and the Mets, who knocked him out last year, come to American Family Field for the weekend. My question is really quite simple. Last year, Pat Murphy wins Manager of the Year, David Stearns Executive of the Year, and now there's talk that Pat Murphy's going to win Manager of the Year again if this continues up. And then there's, the whole idea of Matt Arnold. Is this year, for you as a fan, more impressive a job of what those two have done than even last year was, considering how good they were last year? Because if you remember, going into last season, nobody thought they were going to be any good, right? Trader left. They lost Burns. Like, oh, no, the world's ending. It's all over, and they're going to fall back in the standings. Cub fans were chirping. They got our manager. They're going to be better than us now. All that nonsense was going on. And the Brewers beat the Cubs by 10 games in the division and went to the playoffs and shocked everybody. Therefore, they get the awards. This year, everybody comes in and says it's Brewers, Cubs, and maybe the Reds because they got Francona, but Brewers and Cubs for sure. So kind of expected. And now here we are at 70 wins, best record in all of baseball. I don't think anybody saw that coming. And I don't think anybody saw coming the contributors that are doing it on this roster. Nobody was talking about a lot of these guys before the season started. So is this more impressive than even what last year was when nobody thought they'd be good? Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. You can also tweet us, Facebook us, at The Fan Milwaukee. Go on YouTube. Watch our show on YouTube as well. Chat with us there at The Fan Milwaukee on YouTube. We got shorts, videos, live streaming all of our local shows at The Fan Milwaukee is where you want to find us. Instagram, we're there as well. Okay, Charlie Houston, do you think this is more impressive than what even the Brewers did last year?
No, I don't think this is more impressive than what the Brewers did last year. And I'm one of the big supporters of this idea of expectations. I'm always putting that out there, that if you have certain expectations before the season, that determines how impressive the season is. This season, the Brewers had higher expectations than last year. Last year, like you said, they were nobodies going into the year. Pat Murphy was a nobody coming in as that manager. Matt Arnold was going into this for the first time without a Craig Counsell, without somebody that was that well-known name in the clubhouse. I mean, this was all really going to be a fresh start last year for this team, and they came out and just surprised everybody. Now, I think with the beginning of this year, that's part of the reason I say this isn't a more impressive season, because they started out so slow. I think it is semi-impressive how quickly they were to get out of that hole. At the same time, I mean, everybody around them has kind of been taking steps back. The Cubs haven't looked like the same team that they were in the first half of the season, so they're taking steps back. The Dodgers don't really look as good as they did last season. The American League doesn't look, in general, as good as it did last season, and I think because of that, it makes the Brewers look even more impressive. We talked about it. They had the best record going into the All-Star break of all time. That's something that I think you have to look at and say, you know what? Yes, this is a fun season. I'm having fun watching this team, but my expectations before the season were this, and they didn't start out like that.
Yeah, I think that Yankee series really deflated everybody at the beginning of the year and how they started out. Everybody was freaking out like, oh, no, the world is ending because the Yankees killed them. And I get it, and I understood it, but I mean, to be fair, along the way, I kept telling everybody, just chill out, man. It is 6 months. Let's not jump off the bandwagon and declare them dead. When Yelich was hitting like $170, I was like, chill out. He's not going to do this all year. Just relax. So I was actually trying to calm people down early in the season as everybody was jumping off the bandwagon. But not even I saw Isaac Collins coming. Not even I saw Caleb Durbin coming. Not even I. Well, I kind of said Andrew Vaughn was a steal. I did say that on social media when they made that trade for Savali. And you all blasted me when I said it was a steal of a deal because you all thought he was going to suck forever. He's just too much talent. And again, like I said before, it's a bad organization to a good organization. And right away, you can see the difference between how he's playing for both organizations. So a lot of that comes into play. And the other thing that comes into play, too, when we start talking about this is when they got Quinn Priester, who saw him looking like this? I mean, Quinn Priester, I think you'd have to look. I think Quinn Priester has gone deeper in games more times than Freddie Peralta has this year at this point. I mean, that's crazy to think about where he is in all of this. Quintana, when they got him, okay, yeah, he's probably going to be back end of the rotation guy, and technically he has been. But again, every time he goes out there, I'm like, okay, he's probably going to get hammered this outing. Nope, pitches well. Okay, what's probably going to happen to him this outing? Nope. I mean, yesterday, when he gave up 3 runs, whatever it was, and that was kind of like one of his worst outings, and he still pitched pretty well in that game, Charlie.
He's still fun to watch, too, just like everybody else on this team. And I thought he was going to be one of those pieces, Jose Quintana, that wasn't going to be very fun to watch. I thought he was going to be kind of like a Dallas Keuchel last year, where they're just giving him an opportunity, and it's going to be a flash in the pan before one of these guys like Jacob Mizorowski or Logan Henderson come up, and they take that spot from him. But he's been great. I think this year I'm impressed with, I guess, what Chris Hook has been able to do. Amazing. More so than what Pat Murphy or Matt Arnold has been able to do, and I think Pat Murphy's done a great job too.
They did a great job extending his contract in the offseason and locking him up.
That was a great job as well, like you said. I think Chris Hook, what he's done this season, what we saw last year was that he could turn some of these guys into wine. This year, It's literally every single player. Every single one that he's had the courtesy of pitching or coaching and letting them pitch at the major league level has been phenomenal. It's insane.
It has been an incredible thing to watch, no doubt. So Charlie says this year not as impressive as what it was last year for the Brewers as far as what they've been able to accomplish. What say you, Nicolay Love Fan Talking text line 414-677-1250. Tweet us at The Fan Milwaukee, Facebook, Instagram, we're everywhere you are. Jeff on the YouTube chat, The Fan Milwaukee on YouTube. Search us, watch us. Sparky and Charlie, great show. Earlier this year, I thought this was going to be a train wreck, but they have done a great job, to be honest, in turning this around, and getting Vaughn has been great. That's Jeff on the YouTube chat, The Fan Milwaukee on YouTube. Now, again, the other thing about this for me is I think Matt Arnold, you could argue, has had a bigger impact on the roster this year than maybe what he even did last year, right? I mean, they make the deal. Now, I understand the Devin Williams deal, may not look as good because Nasty Nestor Cortez is gone, but still, you still got Caleb Durbin, the pick, whatever. So from that perspective, it still got you an everyday player in Caleb Durbin, or at least a platoon player, worst case. Maybe he's a utility player going forward, but you have a ton of control on him, and maybe you could trade him eventually somewhere else. You are the one that has Isaac Collins, who is producing at a high level, an all-star level here for a couple of different months. He looks to be real. I mean, he was hitting, what was he hitting, the 3-0, I think, last night? Isaac Collins is the best hitter on the team right now. To me, it's not even a discussion. He is the best hitter on this baseball team. So, Isaac Collins, that's another one of his guys. Savali comes to you and says, I want to be traded. And to be honest, I don't think Charlie blamed him. I didn't blame him. He didn't want to pitch out of the bullpen. He's had a long career. Cool. I'll trade you. I said on the air, by all means, if you're mad about it, trade him to a bad team. Maybe they were mad about it. Maybe they weren't. But they traded him to one of the two worst teams in baseball, to the Chicago White Sox, who, by the way, have turned things around since they got Savali. Coincidence, maybe. I don't know. But they get a guy that's in AAA in Andrew Vaughn, who the White Sox pretty much deemed as a first-round bust, had completely given up on him, sent him to AAA, said he sucks, we're done. And the Milwaukee Brewers said, we'll take him. Yeah, we'll take him back. Trade goes up, and now the Brewer fans are like, you got to be kidding me. This is all we could get? I tweet out, I love this deal. It's a steal. Worst case, okay, he's not that good. Best case, he's your future first baseman, and this turns out great. I never thought he'd be this good, mind you, right? But he has worked out. That's another Matt Arnold move. Anybody could have had this cat. Anybody could have had Andrew Vaughn. Any GM in baseball could have called the White Sox and says, hey, we're interested. Nobody was calling about Andrew Vaughn but Matt Arnold. So that's another feather in his cap. To the Pat Murphy perspective, as far as is he better this year than last year, he didn't really have the doldrums last year that he had this year. He didn't really have to fight through being 5-6 games out of first place. They were kind of front and center throughout most of that year last year, outside of the first month. Then they took off and hit, and nobody caught them. They were out in front. This was the first time as manager where he had to keep this team together and keep them going. And remember, he said, they just don't have it. They don't have that edge. There's something missing. They don't have it yet. They got to find it. Well, when they found it, they took off. That's a credit to Pat Murphy, too, because a bad organization, that team splinters apart and goes into the toilet, and the season's over for the Brewers. Pat Murphy keeps them glued together, and they get their way out of it. That's why I think this year for the Brewers has been more impressive than what we even saw last year. And again, last year, nobody thought they were going to be any good. Everybody thought they were going to be one of the worst teams in the division now that Craig Counsell left, and that didn't happen. The trader went to the Cubs. They finished 10 games behind the Brewers. Amazing. The trader's still with the Cubs, and now they're 4 games behind the Brewers in the division. So for me, it's this year. Charlie, you disagree. You say it's last year.
I do say it's last year. I think the thing that would change my mind is a deeper playoff run. I think that would make this year more impressive than last year.
Sure.
I think what we're seeing on the field right now, again, is what I expect out of good baseball teams. I expect them to have good scouting departments and go out there and get players to help. Now, it's happening at a faster and higher rate than I think most organizations are able to do it at, and that is pretty impressive. I think the way Pat Murphy was able to keep these guys together when they were struggling, because, like you said, they were down. A lot of these guys probably were hitting themselves because they weren't able to do what they thought they were able to do, but yet they still felt like a team at all times. This still felt like the power friendship team even when they were down earlier in the season. This is what you need to see out of an organization that has those winning expectations and has championship expectations. So I think that's really cool that they're keeping up with that and making sure that everything is to a T. I think that is still really impressive. But I think to make it more impressive than last season, when you didn't have those expectations and just completely overshot them, which is awesome, you failed in the playoffs. I need to see you do something else in the playoffs this year.
I think it's fair. That's a fair point about the playoffs. I mean, the Trader failed in the playoffs numerous times as well. Mark on the YouTube chat, the Fan Milwaukee on YouTube, go search us, like us, subscribe to us, share us, says, how do you guys rank the arms on this team right now? I have Woodruff 1, Priester 2, Mizorowski 3, Peralta 4, Quintana 5. Charlie, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
I'll go first because I think you probably have more opinions about that. I would say Jacob Mizorowski, when he is healthy, is by far the most dominant pitcher on this team. When he is at his best, I think he is the best talent on the team. Then it's Brandon Woodruff because he's done it in the past. He's continuing to show it after this injury. I'm really impressed by that. Quinn Priester is probably 3 on my list right now. I think he's been the most consistent pitcher for this Brewers team all year. Freddie Peralta is 4 on my list, and that's
Freddie Peralta's been consistent. Just 5 innings is all he gives you, but he was an all-star pitcher, for God's sake.
That's my problem, though, is that it's only 5 innings, is that you just haven't been able to, again, take that next step. He's shown us in the first half of the season that he's gotten away from some of those struggles that he's had in the past, but now I want him to keep getting better, and it's just like, okay, now we're hitting another wall, and that's where my expectations are sitting with him. I think Quintana's 5. I just think that's a guy that's not really on this team. He's just here to fill that 5th spot and is playing above expectations.
It's been a great 5th spot.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
And he's a postseason guy, right? So he's going to be able to help him, even if he's not on the roster, just working with the pitchers from an off-the-field perspective. I agree with you. I think if you're ranking based on talent and arms, Mizorowski is clearly 1. Woodruff is clearly 2. I struggle putting Priester in front of Peralta. I understand it. You're basing it just on the last couple of months and what this thing looks like, and I understand that. And I agree Peralta has failed as far as going deeper into games. He's only gone past 6 innings twice, I think, this year. That was it. And if he's going to be a top guy in your rotation, he's got to do more than that. But again, a great ERA. Has done a great job when he's in there. He doesn't get necessarily shelled. He's given up, 4 runs and 5 runs, 2 of the last 4 starts. So maybe he's coming back down to earth a little bit from where he's been all year. Remember, he's mostly been a number 3 starter behind Woodruff and Burns for most of his career. Man, Priester in front of Peralta. Yeah, okay, you win. Fine. I guess I'll put Priester at 3, Peralta at 4, Quintana at 5. And that just pains me to say that because, again, you're saying the all-star on this team is 4th in the starting rotation. If we're just talking based on, who's the best arms on this team, put them in order. That's a hard pill to swallow for me as a Brewers fan to make that statement.
Think about it a little bit more positively, Sparky.
You are telling me to be positive.
I'm telling you to be positive.
Okay, all right.
Think about it this way. The all-star pitcher on your team right now, you think is the 4th best pitcher on your team.
But that's crazy.
That's how insane that rotation is, that you can even fathom that he can be the 4th best pitcher in that rotation, or that you think he could be. That's it. Just crazy how amazing they've been this season. Again, how great Chris Hook has been as a pitching coach. Again, I don't really think that's a slight to Freddie Peralta. I think Jacob Mizorowski is just one of the best pitching prospects I've seen.
Let me up the ante.
Sure.
Put Logan Henderson into the equation.
Just he bumps Jose
Quintana down. You have 6.
He bumps Jose Quintana down. So I think Henderson goes in 5, Quintana 6.
Quintana 6. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So that's where we're at on that. All right, take a quick time out. Come back on the other side. I wanted to talk about the Packers training camp and get to all of that, but I teased this other thing involving Paul Heyman and his take on trying to defend wrestling and wanting to call it a sport when nobody has ever called it a sport, and everybody's made fun of those people that have tried to defend it as a sport. I want to talk about that for one segment. Then we'll get into the Packers again coming up at 3 o'clock. Tim Dillard will join us right here on set at the Wisconsin State Fair outside the Expo building looking at the Milk House. Tim Dillard will be here with me coming up at 3:20 here at the State Fair, FanDuel Sports Network. Brewers analyst, former Brewers pitcher, Tim Dillard here with me at 3:20. Looking forward to getting his thoughts on what we just talked about, right? Putting these guys in order in this rotation. And I want to pick his brain on Uribe the other night, messing around the front of that mound forever and a day. That's all coming up. Don't forget, Potawatomi Sportsbook. They're doing their thing. They're trying to get you to come on down there and do your fantasy drafts, your whole league, down at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. All you have to do is go to potawatomi.com/sportsbook to get more details. But the gist of it is this. That sportsbook is 6,500 square feet. It's 2 levels. Your league, 14 teams or less, would do your draft on the second level on a day and night that you choose. On the second level, you would have private elevator access to the second level for all of your fantasy football teams in your league. You're provided a board, stickers, a podium to make the picks, a smorgasbord of food that y'all can eat, and 3 drinks per person in the league at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Have your draft there. It will be one of the coolest things your draft and your league has ever done, and it'll probably become a tradition where you guys are like, oh, yeah, we got to do this every year. This is awesome. That's what's going to happen. I'm telling you, your league will love it. Go to potawatomi.com/sportsbook. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook here at the Wisconsin State Fair. Sparky with you. Welcome back. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's out here live from the Wisconsin State Fair right by the Expo building. People walking in, people walking out. We're looking over there at the Milk House. Highly suggest the root beer milk. It's absolutely delicious. It's $1 and worth your time to go get yourself some root beer milk. When else are you ever going to have root beer milk other than at the Milk House right across from where I'm set up? It's amazing, and everybody will love it. Your kids will love it. You'll love it. Again, you have to love root beer. But that's the best way to look at it. Coming up, he will join me here on set outside the Expo building. Tim Dillard, FanDuel Sports Network, Wisconsin Brewers analyst here with me at the Wisconsin State Fair coming up here at 3:20. Tim Dillard here with me at 3:20. All right, so I was scrolling on Twitter, and as you all know, like I'm not the biggest wrestling fan anymore. Back in the day, I used to be a relatively big wrestling fan growing up from the time I was a kid all the way up probably until, I don't know, probably the last 5 to 7 years I've kind of gone away from it and don't watch it necessarily anymore at all. But when I saw this thing come up on Twitter, it was an interview that John Heyman did. Do you know how to say this guy's name? Ariel Helwani? Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, Ariel Helwani is Paul Heyman, not John Heyman.
Oh, John Heyman. Yeah, sorry. John Heyman.
Paul Heyman.
What did I say, John Heyman?
You keep saying John Heyman.
The baseball insider, the wrestling manager, Heyman. Heyman from the WWE was his guest and talking about storylines with WWE and all of this other stuff. It was a long-range interview, and I didn't sit here and watch all of it. I just went through Twitter and was looking at the highlights that he tweeted out. And they got to talking about whether or not the wrestling, professional wrestling now, wrestling entertainment, that's what it is, right? Wrestling entertainment. Whether or not it has become a sport in Paul Heyman's mind.
There are great athletes out there, world-class athletes that have Super Bowl rings, World Series titles, or have won heavyweight championships in UFC or in a boxing ring, that come down, step into the PC, try to hit the ropes, take a flat back bump, see what that ring is like, and want no part of it. Number one, the cardio is a completely different concept than it is in any other sport. Number two, it is a completely different science than anything else. But if you're not an athlete, if you don't have athletic ability, if you don't have sport, if you don't have some sort of sport in you, you can't do this. I can't do it in the ring. And I know this business, I dare say, as if you put a list together of the 5 people on the face of this planet in history that have understood this industry, I dare say with all humility aside, I'm on anybody's list. And I can't do it. I can't do a moonsault. I can't do what Logan Paul did at SummerSlam. My God, that kid's an athlete. This is sport. It's predetermined sport, but it's sport.
This is the thing that I'm curious about. And it's something that has been talked about for a long time, right? Because people have not taken wrestling seriously for quite some time. You don't hear it talked about nearly as much. Meanwhile, ESPN is cutting deals now with WWE. WWE is doing stuff on Netflix now. They're kind of all over the place, and they have like all these several different shows. Back in the day, it was one show you got a week. That was at Saturday mornings when I was growing up, and then you would have Saturday night main events every so often, and then the pay-per-views, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, all of that type of stuff. Now, it's damn near every day of the week there's some type of wrestling on one way or the other. My question is this concerning what Paul Heyman just says. What defines what actually makes a sport? What defines what actually makes a sport? Heyman's point in all of this is you have to be an athlete to do what they do. You probably had to have played other sports at some point in order to pull off what they do. That not anybody here at the Wisconsin State Fair can go do what these guys do in the ring on a day-to-day basis. Now, this is not for everybody. There is talent involved. There is physical traits that have to be involved, and more goes into this than what everybody makes out at the end of the day. So in his mind, yes, maybe it's a predetermined sport, but in his mind, he thinks it is a sport at the end of the day and thinks it gets short-changed. And this is to me, it's a big conversation. And I don't know if we necessarily get it done here in the next 3 or 4 minutes, but I just wanted to touch on it because Charlie, left tackle, played high school football at Brooks Central, played college football at Elmhurst. He's done his thing. He's been an athlete his whole life. So, Charlie, I ask you, what say you about Paul Heyman saying this should be considered a sport?
I think he's right. When I watch sports, I think there's a couple things that are key within the sport. And I get it. It's predetermined. That's fine, whatever. These guys are doing athletic feats, like he said, like I've never seen before in my entire life. Some of these dudes have some of the physiques. Some of these women have the physiques of like gods and goddesses. It's insane how built and how much work they've put into themselves. Maybe not work all the time, but sometimes they've done things to themselves that make them greater athletes than some other people. And I think when I look at what a sport is, there has to be some kind of competition. I see competition here. Whether or not it's predetermined, these people in the ring and out of the ring are fighting for their rights to be the champion. They're always coming up with different storylines for themselves, different characters for themselves in order to show off their athletic feats and what they are able to do. And the other thing that I'm looking at here that I think determines a sport, I think, is really just kind of the sportsmanship side of things. If you think it's a sport, if you're out there competing with other people and you have teams and you have rules and you have set up competitions and tournaments, that's a sport.
So is cheerleading a sport?
Yeah, cheerleading's a sport.
Dance, is that a competitive dance? Is that a sport?
That is a sport.
Racing a car?
Yeah, that's a sport. You're putting strain on your body and all of those. You're doing things that normal people can't just go out there and do in every single one of those scenarios. Yeah, that's all sport.
Because a lot of times you talk to old school people, and it's like, oh, it's got to involve a ball. If it doesn't involve a ball, it's not really a sport at the end of the day. You got a lot of that. I like your definition of what makes something a sport more so than any other definition that I've heard anybody else give. So A+ for that. I just wanted to play that from Paul Heyman. I thought it was really good. I thought it deserved maybe not a half hour or an hour conversation, but a smaller segment conversation, if nothing else. Coming up next, we're going to hear from Matt LaFleur. He talked a little bit earlier today at Packers training camp. Plus, still ahead, Tim Dillard, who is stalking me, Charlie. He's stalking me.
He's stalking you?
He texted me during that segment a picture of me sitting under the tent. I turned around and he's gone. So I'm
awesome.
a little scared, to be honest, but so he's here.
It's
he's
like,
definitely here at the state
where's
fair.
Tim? Where's Waldo? Type of thing.
Yeah, I guess. I look for those bright orange sunglasses
Right.
that are his sunglasses that he likes to wear around. So Tim Dillard will be here at 3:20 here on set, just outside the Wisconsin State Fair Expo building. Come on out, say hi, and don't forget, obviously, about Wendy's. And make sure to go over there and try their biscuits, man. Here's a sign to never skip breakfast again. Wendy's breakfast biscuits are just $1. Your choice of a buttermilk biscuit with grilled sausage or bacon with egg and melty cheese. Or even the honey buddy with juicy chicken and maple honey butter. For just $1, you can't go wrong unless you forget to add the delicious seasoned potatoes or the warm fluffy French toast sticks or even the ooey gooey Cinnabon. Come on, start your day the right way with Buck Biscuits at Wendy's. And don't look back, limited time only. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook here at the Wisconsin State Fair outside the Expo building. Sparky with you.